Nicaragua is the largest country in Central America. It fell under the control of the Spanish crown at the beginning of the 16th century until the end of the second decade of the 19th century before moving to the First Empire of Mexico in 1821, and then to the Federal Republic of Central America to gain its independence in 1838 under the name of the State of Nicaragua, then the Republic of Nicaragua in 1854. Nicaragua is characterized by a volcanic nature and a tropical climate that makes its land fertile for many agricultural crops, and it has a group of lakes, including Lake Nicaragua, the largest in Latin America. Nicaragua witnessed violent political turmoil at the beginning of the second half of the 19th century, as it was the linking point and crossing point between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, used by commercial convoys and groups of immigrants towards California in the United States in search of gold, making it the first strategic location in Central America. But with the conservatives coming to power in 1858, the country entered a period of political stability and economic, cultural, and social prosperity, which made it the most stable and prosperous country in Central America, and one of the most important economic centers in the American continent. This made it attractive, prompting waves of European immigrants, especially from Germany and Italy, which in turn led to an increase in its prosperity at a time when neighboring countries such as Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Costa Rica were experiencing successive armed conflicts and military coups. Coffee exports constitute the mainstay of the economy in Nicaragua with 65%, followed by precious metals 14%, and tobacco cultivation, which is one of the finest in the world. The first 3 decades of the last century in Nicaragua were characterized by continuous political turmoil and repeated U.S. military interventions. The figure of the national hero, General Augusto Sandino, emerged from the ranks of the peasants to lead a revolution against the American occupation of his country, which ended with the signing of a peace treaty in which he dissolved his revolutionary army before issuing the death sentence. It will be executed on February 21, 1934. From that date until 1979, a number of tyrants, who all belonged to the Somoza family, ruled Nicaragua, at a time when the country was experiencing economic prosperity thanks to American investments in the agricultural and mineral sectors. In 1972, the capital, Managua, was hit by a devastating earthquake that claimed more than 10,000 victims, followed by a period of political and social turmoil due to government corruption in the management of international aid. The armed confrontation between the Somoza regime and the revolutionaries of the Sandinista front did not last long, but it inflicted a large number of casualties among civilians, especially because of the indiscriminate air raids that the army was launching against cities and villages, until the youth who were the vanguard of the revolutionary forces managed to entering the capital, Managua, on July 19, 1979, after Somoza left it with his family. In 1981 the Sandinista army, backed by Cuban and Soviet experts, had turned into the most powerful army in Central American history. The Sandinista front's control of power in Nicaragua continued until 1990, when Ortega was defeated in the elections by opposition candidate Violeta Chamorro, and the Sandinistas were not able to return to power until 2006, when Ortega won the presidential elections, and then in the legislative elections in late 2008. Ortega's last 3 states were characterized by a noticeable decline in economic performance, widespread popular and student unrest, brutally suppressed by the security services, which drew broad international and regional condemnations and sanctions against the regime imposed by its main trading partners such as the United States, Canada, and the European Union. In light of this scene, the recent presidential elections were held, the results of which Ortega had guaranteed after he expelled all his rivals or imprisoned them, but he also guaranteed more international condemnation and economic sanctions, which heralds a phase open to all possibilities.